Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about football. Not soccer, football. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about my predictions for the Premier League, Champions League, maybe even the fucking UEFA Cup, I don't know. So I'm going to be putting up the bottom half of my predictor table. That's team through 20 to 11, I believe. In 3, 2, 1, bang. And yeah, so let's start with the most important thing, which is the bottom 3. Who is going to get relegated? Now, in my opinion, like any of the bottom 8 I have could get relegated this season, or I could see them getting relegated. But for the bottom of the table, number 20, I have Burnley. So the reason I put Burnley there is, as you know, they got promoted last season along with Middlesbrough and Hull. And just in my opinion, their squad is probably the worst out of all of them. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just don't see their squad being strong enough to really stay in the Premier League, and eventually I'd put them down as number 20. So number 19 I've got, which follows the same line, is Hull. Now I had them sort of around that area when they had Steve Bruce, and then they sacked him. Nothing's really changed for me. Maybe it will go up depending on who they have as manager. At the moment I believe they do not have a manager, and yeah, I can't really see them getting anyone better than Steve Bruce, and anything worse than Steve Bruce is probably not a good thing. So I've got them at 19. And the last team that I put to get relegated, which may surprise some people, is West Brom. Now West Brom have recently been taken over by a Chinese company, I believe. There's a possibility that they're going to be getting some new investment into the club. I think West Brom have been lucky to stay at the last few seasons, and because of this new takeover, I believe Tony Pulis will be the first manager to get sacked. And that is because I believe they're going to be going for a top half finish. Their owners are going to be mental and probably go for Champions League football. This is just my theory. It could be complete bollocks. They could know football in and out, and I could be completely wrong. But I definitely see something like a QPR thing going. That's ultimately what I see happening. They're definitely going to be finishing near the bottom of the table, in my opinion. Moving upwards from that, I've got Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, and Middlesbrough. So Bournemouth, they had an okay season last season. But again, I just don't think their squad's... I think they work well as a team, but I'm not sure their squad's good enough to really be comfortable. So I definitely see them finishing near the bottom. Crystal Palace, again, I see them going on a run of a few games and then losing quite a few games. I'm just not really sold as Alan Pardew as manager. And yeah, Middlesbrough, then the other promoted team, and I see them doing the best out of the promoted teams. And so I've got them outside the relegation zone, but still near the bottom. I reckon they could finish higher, I'm not sure. Above that, I've got Watford, Sunderland, the two other teams that I think are not completely up to scratch. Watford's definitely a decent team. And Sunderland with David Moyes, I feel like they'll be a lot stronger defensively and will be able to cope a bit more. So we have the last two at the bottom half of the table, Swansea and Southampton. There's not really too much to say about these teams. I think they're just average teams. They could both go higher or lower than this. Depends how well they do. Now moving on to the top half. And there's probably something that springs to your mind straight away, but hold on a second. Don't look at that yet. Let's just focus on number 10. So at number 10, I've got Everton. Everton recently got Ronald Koeman as manager, replacing Roberto Martinez. And with Lukaku up front and the team that they have, I feel like they could definitely go higher than this. It may not take them to like 8th or 7th or 6th yet. I think they'll still be in a sort of around the 10th spot, which is why I put them there. And yeah, so the next one above that is West Ham, coming at number 9. And West Ham could arguably be much higher than this, but it's very crowded at the top half of the table, and I just feel I don't think they can be as good as they were last season, because that would be quite hard for them. So I see them dropping down a bit to 9th. Above that, I've got Stoke, who had a great season last time. I don't really see too much changing there. They've got a solid attack, and they're solid defensively as ever. And so I see them coming about 8th. Now, here's where it gets a bit more interesting. You might be thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you? You've got Man United at 7th place. Well, this is one of the big things in predictions where sometimes you have to go a bit mental. And because if I just did it Man City, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, all in a row, then it'd be like bollocks. Sometimes you have to go with your gut instinct and what you feel may happen, and you have to make some big decisions, and this is my big decision, I think, my biggest decision when I was doing this prediction, putting Man United at 7th. And the reason I have that is just because I think Jose Mourinho, it's possible he's either going to be a great manager for them, a great fit, or the other way round for me. I feel like it's either one or the other. And even though they've signed Ibrahimovic, Pogba, they've signed some great players, as a team, I'm not sure they really have a focus. Ibrahimovic is very direct. A lot of their players are very direct, but then a lot of their players are very skillful and dribbly, and a lot of their players are there for passing and slowing play down. So it's very confusing to me, their squad. And if he gets the right team going, then possibly they'll go higher and definitely top 4. But I just don't see them gelling too well, especially for this season. Above that, I got a 6th place is Leicester City. Now, a lot of people are putting Leicester quite a lot lower than this, around mid-table. But honestly, I think their squad is probably just as good, if not a tiny bit better than they had last season. They've lost Kante, but Damian Gray, who they signed, and a few other players that they've signed look pretty good in pre-season. And they've still got Mahrez and Vardy, which for me one of the 2 best players last season. I had them in the top 4 when I first did this, but I put them down just because I'm a bit of a pussy. But yeah, they could either go a bit higher or a bit lower. I don't see them finishing the bottom half of the table, if I'm being honest. I think the lowest they'll go is about 10th. But we'll see. And then above that, I've got Tottenham, just missing out on Champions League football. Tottenham came 2nd last season. They had a great season. And for some reason, I just don't see them having a better season than last season. And I think the only reason they came 2nd was because a lot of the other big teams were not performing very well. And I have a feeling, especially with Chelsea and Man City, that's definitely going to be a change, and possibly Man United if as I said, they get the right team going. So yeah, that's the reason I've got them at 5th. I really wanted to switch Arsenal and Tottenham around, just by statistics. Arsenal always seem to get top 4, so I just couldn't leave them out of it. So that brings me to Arsenal. I've got in 4th place. I see them doing pretty much the exact thing they do every season, which is not really improved that much, not really get much worse. And that's the reason I've got them in 4th. But this season, definitely, I feel as if they may miss out on top 4. This is the one season where I feel like there's enough teams that have injected a lot of money into their teams, injected a lot of new players, and it's definitely possible that Arsenal, as they haven't done really anything, they could miss out. There's a lot of teams that are stronger than them, in my opinion, on paper. But yeah, move up to my team at 3rd, which is Chelsea. And they had a bit of a horrible season last time out, but I think that was largely down to just the squad being disrupted and the troubles with Jose Mourinho that we had. In pre-season, you can definitely see a lot of the players that were missing last season, like Costa, Hazard, Oscar, Fabregas, Cahill, Courtois to some extent, and even Cuadrado, who was out on loan, who's come back, even looks pretty good. So with Kante coming in as well, and Batshuayi, our squad's definitely up there, and I definitely see it fitting together pretty well. A lot of the players, it seems to fit Conte's tactics quite well. So yeah, we'll see. That's just my opinion. And as I said, I'm not really a football pundit. I'm just a fucking retard. But anyway, I go on to 2nd place, which is I've got as Man City. Now, I did have them at 1st place, but I eventually switched them down to 2nd place just because it is Pep Guardiola's 1st season in charge, and some of the signings they made, I'm not really too sure on, and we'll see. They've got a great squad, and with Pep Guardiola, it's definitely a huge step up. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they win. I think they're probably my favourites, even though I've got Liverpool at 1st. I'd say they're definitely the favourites, and Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man United, I'd say, are the sort of dark horses, in my opinion. Even though I've got them Man United quite low down, I still think they have the potential to win the title. I just don't think they're going to have a good season. And so that brings me on to number 1. Brings me on to who I think is going to win the Premier League title, which is absolutely mental. I didn't think I'd ever be saying this, but I've got Liverpool at number 1. Now, I honestly wouldn't have done this if I wasn't making a video about it, and I was being completely honest. I probably wouldn't put them as number 1. But at the same time, deep down, I do think that they have a really good chance of winning the league this season. Jurgen Klopp is a great manager, and he seems to be buying the players and assorting a team that seems to fit his style very well. A very quick attack, similar to Leicester last season. Their attacking players are just some of the best in the league, and Liverpool definitely have that fluid style of play, and it's going to be difficult for teams to defend against. Now, the reason I didn't want to put them at top was just because of their defence and their goalkeeper. Mignolet, he's okay, he had a really good first season there, but he's been average ever since. And I'm just not really sold on a lot of their defence, but I definitely think they could get top 4, and I put them at an outside chance to win the league here, which I don't think is going to happen, but I definitely think it's decent possibility if they can get some consistency. And yeah. So at the end of the season, when all of these competitions are finished, I'm going to be checking back and seeing how right or wrong I was, and sort of seeing how far off each position I actually was, and how wrong I was in certain areas. And that should be pretty fun as well, as well as just being able to see where I am at that stage. How far has my YouTube channel gone? How far have I gone? So it'll definitely be interesting. And yeah, thanks guys for watching the video. Let me know who you think's going to win the league, who you think's going to make top 4, who's going to get relegated. Those are the main things that people want to know. And yeah, thanks guys, and goodbye.